As we navigate a world that has learned to live alongside COVID-19, it is easy to become complacent. For many people, especially those who are vaccinated, a COVID-19 infection might feel like a common cold or a mild flu. They experience a few days of a sore throat, a cough, and some fatigue, and then they feel better. This experience leads many to believe that a mild case is harmless, something to be endured but not feared. They assume that once the initial symptoms disappear, the battle is won, and the body has fully recovered. This assumption, however, overlooks a growing body of evidence that tells a very different and much more concerning story about the virus's long-term impact. The reality is that the initial severity of a COVID-19 infection does not always predict its long-term consequences. The term mild can be dangerously misleading, as it only describes the first few days or weeks of the illness. It doesn't tell us anything about what might be happening silently inside the body long after the coughing has stopped. Researchers are discovering that even an infection with minimal symptoms can set the stage for persistent and debilitating health problems. This is why ongoing awareness and protective measures, like those embodied by the CoviVeda initiative, remain critically important. We must shift our focus from just surviving the acute phase to understanding and preventing the lasting damage. The danger lies in what we cannot immediately see or feel. While the immune system mounts a strong defense to clear the virus from the respiratory tract, remnants of the virus, or even the live virus itself, can retreat to places where our immune defenses are less active. This hidden persistence can trigger a slow-burning fire of inflammation and immune system disruption that continues for months or even years. People may feel perfectly fine for a while, only to later develop new, unexplained symptoms that they don't connect back to their mild COVID-19 case. This silent progression is what makes the long-term effects of this virus so insidious and difficult to manage. Thinking that a mild case of COVID-19 is like a simple cold is a mistake we can no longer afford to make. The evidence is clear. The virus can leave a lasting footprint on our health, affecting our most vital organs in ways we are only just beginning to comprehend. The initial sickness might be over in a week, but the consequences can unfold over a much longer timeline. This is not meant to cause panic, but to foster a deeper respect for the virus and a stronger commitment to long-term health monitoring. Understanding this risk is the first step toward protecting ourselves and our loved ones from the silent, lingering threat of long COVID. So how does the virus manage to stick around long after we feel better? The answer lies in special areas of our body known as immune-privileged sites. These are unique locations, such as the brain, the eyes, and the testes, where the immune system's activity is naturally dialed down. This is a protective mechanism. For example, a full-blown inflammatory response in the brain or eyes could cause significant damage to these delicate and essential organs. Our bodies create these low-surveillance zones to protect them from our own powerful immune defenses. It is a brilliant biological design, but one that viruses like SARS-CoV-2 can exploit for their own survival. When the virus enters these sanctuaries, it essentially finds a place to hide from the immune system's main patrols. While antibodies and T cells are busy clearing the infection from the lungs and bloodstream, the virus can quietly settle into these protected tissues. Studies have found evidence of the virus or its genetic material in the brain and other privileged sites for up to 2 years after the initial infection. It can remain there in a low-level, persistent state, not causing an immediate, full-blown illness, but continuing to provoke the local environment. This is not a reinfection. It is the original invader that has found a long-term hiding place within us. This viral persistence is not a passive process. Even while hiding, the virus can cause significant problems. Its presence can trigger chronic, low-grade inflammation in these sensitive tissues. Think of it like a splinter you can't see. It doesn't cause a major wound, but the area around it remains red, swollen, and irritated. In the brain, this sustained inflammation can disrupt normal cellular function and damage delicate neural connections. This ongoing irritation can also dysregulate the immune system, keeping it in a state of constant, low-level alert, which can lead to a wide range of long-term symptoms affecting the entire body. The consequences of this hidden viral reservoir are profound. It explains why some individuals who had very mild initial symptoms can go on to develop severe long COVID. Their bodies never truly cleared the virus. Instead, it established a long-term residency that continuously fuels inflammation and immune dysfunction. Research has shown that even more than a year after a mild infection, some people have altered levels of key immune cells, like T cells, indicating that their immune system is still fighting a hidden battle. Understanding this mechanism is key to developing strategies, such as those promoted by CoviVeda, to address the root cause of long COVID. One of the most peculiar and telling symptoms of COVID-19 has been the loss of smell, a condition known as anosmia. For many, it was the first sign that this was no ordinary respiratory virus. While it was initially dismissed as a strange but temporary inconvenience, we now understand that anosmia is a direct window into the virus's neurological impact. It is not just about the nose, it is about the brain. When someone loses their sense of smell from COVID-19, it is a strong indicator that the virus has infiltrated the central nervous system. This symptom, more than many others, signals a deeper, more direct engagement with our neural pathways. The loss of smell occurs because the virus can damage the olfactory neurons in the nose and the parts of the brain that process smell, such as the olfactory bulb. For some people, the sense of smell returns within a few weeks, but for others, the loss can be prolonged, lasting for months or even years. This persistence is linked to the lasting inflammation and disruption caused by the virus in the brain. Studies using advanced brain imaging have revealed measurable changes in people who have suffered from COVID-related anosmia. They show reduced thickness in parts of the brain's cortex and altered connectivity between different neural networks, changes that persist long after the initial illness. The impact of anosmia extends far beyond simply not being able to smell a flower or enjoy the taste of food, which itself is a significant blow to quality of life. The sense of smell is deeply intertwined with our systems for memory and emotion, primarily through a brain region called the limbic system. Research shows that long COVID patients who experienced anosmia perform worse on tests of cognitive function, memory, and incidental learning compared to those who did not lose their sense of smell. The damage that causes anosmia is not isolated. It is a sign of broader functional changes in the brain that affect our ability to think and remember. Even when the sense of smell appears to return, the underlying brain changes may not have fully resolved. The brain is incredibly adaptable and can compensate for damage, but the scars may remain. Persistent anosmia is a clear and measurable sign that a mild infection has had a direct and lasting effect on the brain. It serves as a powerful reminder that the virus's reach extends far beyond the lungs. It highlights the critical need for awareness and follow-up, ensuring that neurological symptoms are taken seriously as potential indicators of long-term issues that require attention and care. The neurological consequences of even a mild COVID-19 infection are not limited to the loss of smell. A wide array of persistent symptoms points to the virus's lasting impact on the brain and nervous system. Many people with long COVID report experiencing debilitating brain fog, a term that encompasses a frustrating constellation of cognitive issues. This includes difficulty concentrating, short-term memory deficits, and a general feeling of mental slowness. These are not signs of fatigue. They are evidence of direct neurological disruption. Simple, everyday tasks that once required no effort can become monumental challenges, profoundly affecting a person's ability to work, study, and engage with the world. Beyond brain fog, other common neurological symptoms include persistent headaches, dizziness, and significant mood changes. Many individuals who never had mental health issues before their infection find themselves struggling with anxiety, depression, or irritability. These mood shifts are not just a psychological reaction to being ill. They are increasingly understood to be a direct result of neuroinflammation and the disruption of chemical signaling in the brain. The virus's ability to persist in the central nervous system and trigger chronic immune responses can fundamentally alter brain function, leading to these distressing and life-altering conditions that can linger for years. The combination of viral persistence in the nervous system and the resulting immune system chaos raises serious long-term concerns. Some scientists are now investigating whether this process could increase the risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, later in life. The chronic inflammation and cellular stress caused by the hidden virus bear a striking resemblance to the underlying mechanisms of these conditions. While more research is needed to establish a definitive link, the possibility alone underscores the gravity of preventing and treating the long-term effects of COVID-19. It is a potential ticking time bomb that we must work to defuse. This is why initiatives like CoviVeda remain so essential, even today on July 30th, 2025. We must move past the outdated notion that a mild case of COVID-19 is of no concern. The silent, hidden effects on the brain can be among the most devastating and long-lasting consequences of this virus. By promoting awareness, supporting research, and encouraging long-term health monitoring, we can protect our collective cognitive health. A mild illness today can cast a long shadow over our future. Recognizing this threat is the first and most crucial step in safeguarding our well-being for the years to come. You can buy CoviVeda at tarazu.com.